Hey, how are you? As always, it's been a while between my videos, but I need to pack my bag today. I'm shooting rugby again tomorrow, so I thought while I do that, we'll have a chat and catch up. Alright, yeah, so it's been 11 months since I last made a video. Sorry about that, and sorry for the squeaky chair if you can hear that. Yeah, 11 months, and so the last video I made was feedback on the netball tournament that I did. Ironically, I finished that same netball tournament last week. Did that again, so it was a lot less traumatic this year than it was last year. I think last year was just me getting used to running around after sports and getting that sorted. I've got a year of sports photography behind me now, so that's been a lot of fun and quite a journey. Okay, so this isn't a what's in my camera bag video. I just needed to clean the thing because it's been dragged through the mud and it got rained on a few times and the rain cover was all dirty and the outside of the bag was a bit dirty. So clean that up, so now I'm just packing everything in and thought we'd have a chat. So the last video you saw from me, I stayed in Primrose. Since then, last year October, I have moved to Pretoria. So there's a lot of schools here. There's a lot of opportunity for school and sport photography in this area, far more than when I used to stay. And with my move to focus on sport photography rather than car photography, that I think is a good move for me. Alright, so first thing that I will be packing back into my bag, cleaning equipment. Some lens cleaner, the usual blower thing, all of these things, but I'll pack those in as I pack the bag because I'm going to be cleaning out the lenses and stuff, so these go in the bag. Okay, first lens that goes into the bag is the EFS 18-55, and this is the image stabilized version, pretty much kit lens. This is mainly used, always used on my Canon 1100D. Yes, I still use my 1100D from time to time. It is my backup camera, which I really needed recently, and we'll get to that. But this I'll have it on the 1100D next to me while I shoot rugby. When I'm shooting rugby, I'll use my 150-600 lens. So obviously when the action gets really close, the 100 is just not going to focus and get all that action in. And then I'll swap over to this guy, which will be next to me, and then I can get a nice photo of a try being scored. I'll put one on now for you to see. Next up is the Nifty 50, the 50mm 1.8. This is an older version. I think this is like maybe the Mark II. Yeah, this is the second version of the lens, which I bought many years ago. But it works awesome. It's really good in low light, although not awesome for sport. I have tried to use it for some sports with mixed results. It really depends on the camera you have, and this one doesn't focus as quickly as some of the newer versions. I should maybe look to update this at some point. But for now, it works fine. 50mm, gotta have it. Coffee. Okay, and next up is the trusty EFS 55-250. I use this mainly for netball. It works really fine. It doesn't have a heck of a lot of depth of field blur to it. This is a 4 to 5.6 at its longest end. So I just cleaned this. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, it's not as good as a 70-200, but 70-200 is a lot of money, but we'll get there. For now, 55-250. Okay, so this is usually where I would tell you about the 15-45 kit lens for my M50 Mark II that would be going into the bag. This is not going into the bag for this trip. We'll get to that. Okay, camera body number 1. This is the Canon 1100D. This thing has been through the wall with me. I've really abused this little camera. At the time I bought this was the cheapest Canon DSLR you could buy. And this was really just to kind of get me back into photography. I used to have a Canon 40D. Long story. But yeah, so this started me. With this, I've done so much work. I've done magazine work with this camera, international magazine work with this camera. It's really served me well. It's taken a beating over the years. Still works fine. I got 3 batteries for this. I bought these ones from K&F Concept the other day, and I've been quite impressed with the batteries for them. I use them on my M50 as well, because the genuine ones are just far too expensive. So these work really well. They last long, in some cases longer than the original. But yeah, they're awesome. They're great. Take a lot. So another thing I like about the K&F Concept batteries is they come with this charger which has got the USB ports. It's USB-C and then I think what was called USB-A. And this can charge with a power bank, so you can literally just plug it in, keep it in your camera bag, and it'll charge from a power bank while you're busy working. So this is really awesome. Highly recommend this. Car charger, obviously regular wall charger, really great. I do keep my flash in my bag. This is the 320EX from Canon. It's not super powerful, but it works for what I need. I don't often need it, but there are times when I do need it. Every now and again we'll do team photos unexpectedly. I'll be called in to do a team photo, and it's nice to have this just to fill in some of the shadows. So it works really well. It uses regular AA's, so keep that in the bag as well. So at this point, I think it is worth mentioning that I do need a bigger camera bag. I've got the Lowepro ProTactic. This is the 350. Yeah, 350 all-weather. I've had this bag probably 11 or 12 years at the moment. Still works fine. It's just gotten too small at the moment. My 150-600 does not fit in the bag. It probably would, but then not much else would. So I do want a bigger bag. I do want to be able to have that lens in the bag with me instead of having to carry that lens in its own bag along with everything else. It just gets annoying to do it that way. I am working on a plan, a temporary solution for that, and I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, so that brings me to this camera. And the first bit of drama. So I was shooting the North-South rugby tournament at Tygerpoort Primary School not so long ago. And with my M50, I've been doing it since we started on the Wednesday afternoon. The tournament started, finished Saturday afternoon. About halfway through Saturday, I went onto the back of the screen just to check out a photo that I had just taken, and it looked like a double exposure. It was just strange. It was very odd. Took another few photos and an error popped up. Camera wasn't working. Turns out the shutter mechanism had failed. Lesson learned, always service your cameras. You don't think about it, but service your cameras. So this is the Canon RP that I borrowed from a friend. Thank you very much for being awesome and borrowing me your camera. This is not a sport camera though. It's a great camera, but for sport this is not really all that awesome. I find it is a bit slow to focus. Even though it's full frame, I do find it's a little bit sluggish to focus on the action, and so you do miss some shots, or you give some shots that are just not quite in focus, because it is just that little bit slow to focus. So great camera, not for sport. Then I might as well tell you, so the M50 Mark II is at Canon South Africa at the moment being repaired. Hopefully it'll be repaired in time for next week when I need to shoot another rugby tournament, and I need to do video, which I'll tell you about in a bit, at a school that I've been doing work for a while now. Something else that's usually in my bag is my high visibility vest with my branding on. I use this mainly when I do motorsport. You have to be visible, especially in the pit lane. So I mainly use this then. Then I work for an agency called Team Photo SA, and they have these ones. So these we are required to wear at all Team Photo SA events, which is fair enough. It's branding, it's advertising, and they have a QR code on the back that parents can scan at the event and then order the photos of the event from there. So clever idea. I might still turn this into a t-shirt because in summer months, having a double layer on gets exceptionally hot, especially when you're sitting out in the sun the whole day. Okay, one other thing in the camera bag is this rather lovely looking plastic bag. So I use this as a rain cover. It's worked very, very well when I did rugby photos at Hoërskool Waterkloof and it started raining. So this did the job actually quite well. I did do a Facebook post tagging every camera company in South Africa, asking if someone would be willing to sponsor me a proper rain cover. Some of them actually liked the post, but nobody replied. So go look at that post. I'll link it below, and then give it a few likes, and maybe some of these camera companies can sponsor me a proper rain cover, because this works. But yes. Alright, and this is the monster that doesn't fit in the bag. This is the 150 to 600 from Sigma. This is the contemporary version. Works really awesome. Is an amazing lens. Focuses really fast. It's really sharp. It's not too heavy, but monopod definitely recommended to use with this one. It's got some custom functions on the lens that I need to still explore, but you need the USB dock for that, and I still need to get that. So maybe that's something I'll chat about when I've got all that set up. But yeah, this bad boy for now fits in its own bag. This thing. So I've got to carry this around with me, which is why I really need a bigger bag. Okay, then speaking of which, monopod. This goes with. And also, fold-up chair. Need one of these, sit next to the fuel, nice and low. Great, must have. Okay, so a few other things that I would usually carry with me. This is the EFS to EFM adapter from Canon. I would keep this in the bag if I have my M50 to attach the Sigma lens to the camera via this, but yeah, so this is going to stay behind for now, but usually in the bag. These are earplugs for, again, motorsport, gets really loud, so definitely these for ear protection. Tripod tool, this comes in very handy. I've lent this out to other photographers or videographers at events that I thought I was never going to see it again. Very handy. Keep this with you. VND filter for my 50mm specifically, because sometimes I want to shoot at 1.8 and it's too bright, and then you just need to stop down the light a little bit while keeping the aperture wide open. So this stays in the bag. SD cards always with me, and then just some wipes. Your hands get dirty, these are great. Okay, so I do a lot of work for Aston Manor Primary School. My daughter used to be in the school, and so I really do enjoy working for them. So recently, they've decided to change their rugby kits. They've got a new sponsor, and so they're revealing a new rugby jersey. So this coming Wednesday, I'll be going to the school, and we'll be doing a rugby reveal photo on the jersey. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that the idea I have for the video is quite catchy and quite cool. I'll be sure to post it on YouTube as well, and you can have a look at it and let me know what you think. This whole video I shot on my Honor X7D phone, just because I'd usually be using the M50 for that. And because I was packing the bag, I figured, well, I'll just show you the RP and tell you the whole sad story about the shutter breaking on me while I was busy working. One thing I forgot to tell you about was the short-term solution for the bigger bag. So I have this ammo crate, which I'll be using as a kind of a pelican case. I find that a lot of these school events, kids don't watch where they walk. So my bag's forever being kicked and bumped into, and rugby balls are lobbed through the air, and then it lands on the bag or on me. this thing does offer a bit more protection than what a camera bag does, just from kicks and heavy impacts like a rugby ball hitting it. So I've already spoken to a company about a foam insert for this. I just need to do the design and the file for the cutouts of the foam, so that all my gear will fit into the foam nicely and be protected and not, thrash around in here, which is not ideal. As always, thank you for watching. Please like this video if you did, subscribe if you're not already, and share it if you think someone else will be entertained by this. Thank you.